It was December 31st, 2021. We had all decided to meet up at Susan to have New Year's together. And we started drinking at like 3 o'clock. And every single one of us brought enough alcohol to feed at least a small army. And as the night went on, we just made worse and worse decisions.
Yep.
We did shots of chili oil. Did we do a hot pot?
No, that's Chinese New Year. That's a different thing.
Oh,
We just ate.
that wasn't the chili shot night? It was the chili shot night.
Yeah, but like.
But
that
I
wasn't
feel
hot
like-
pot. We didn't do hot pot New Year's.
Then why did we have chili out anyway? Oh, you always just had chili on the table.
Oh, yeah.
Girl, this was an Asian household. We did shots of soy sauce. We played with gin. We did drinking games. We did play piccolo, which is always like the beginning of the end. It is always the beginning of the end. At this point, we were thoroughly ready at 9 o'clock for it to be the new year. But we weren't there yet. We still had 3 hours to go. So I think we also picked up more alcohol. Like the off license around the corner from Susan, and we picked up more. Joe had, I think, 2 Monster Energy drinks to himself. And honestly, at this point, I think the vibes were just right. Where we were messy enough, but not too messy. We got to about, I think, 11:30. And it was the first time that they were going to ring Big Ben since they had uncovered it, and then recovered it, and then uncovered it again, because they fucked it. And we were like, okay, we're going to go. So we go out, stumble our way to Westminster Bridge. Then we got to the actual point on the bridge. We brought 2 Prosecco's. We brought 2 Prosecco's because we didn't learn from the year before. Opened it up on the bridge.
Yeah, after the.
Yeah, at midnight.
Yeah.
We popped them open, started drinking them because we obviously at this point had not had enough to drink. You threw up. I think Charlotte couldn't walk straight. Joe kissed Emily. Neither of them remember doing so. And at this point, I think everyone was like, we've accomplished our goal. We must go home.
Yeah.
And then Joe, being Joe, was like, we obviously need to keep the good vibes going. And everyone unanimously agreed to, Joe, this is a bad idea. To which Joe said, no, we're going. If you're not coming with me, I'm doing this alone. And I frankly think this is the first time I've ever seen Joe be defensive. And frankly, I'm thrilled it's about partying. But naturally, at this point, I was still so drunk. I barely remember this. But I remember thinking, if Joe goes by himself, he will die. So I was like, okay, we're gonna go. I'm going to go with him. Not that I'll be much help, but I can at least report him dead. So we part ways, everyone else goes back to the flat and immediately passes the fuck out. Joe's like, we're gonna, gay bars near me, this situation, and we're gonna go somewhere. I have no recollection of where we were intending on going and how we got there. I have distinct blurry memories of like London at night. And then we went from Westminster to Buckingham Palace. We're on this kind of patch. And across from it, you can see it's like either St. James or Hyde Park. I can't remember, across from it or something. And Joe sets his eyes on it. And he was like a dog that had found a squirrel. He was like, no, I'm going. And he was ready to jump into like 4 lanes of traffic. So I was like, no, simply not. You're not doing that. So I was like, Joe, we can go, but we have to find a crosswalk. Like maybe we should go home. I think you're a bit too drunk. And he was like, I want to be free. I just want to be free. And I was just like, I understand. I think this is a universal need, but you can't do this. You simply can't do this because you will die. And at this point, he gets defensive again. And again, he gets defensive about partying. So he's like, I just want to be free. And I ended up having to tackle him from the back just to stop him from running across a busy road. To which he then took my glasses off of my face and somehow threw them beyond the gates of Buckingham Palace, to which they were never seen again. So I've tackled him, and now we're like half on the ground, just like kind of half fighting, and he's struggling the entire time, saying nothing but, I just want to be free, I just want to be free. Just let me be free. I just want to be free. And home. But naturally, because it's my luck, police officers come over on mounted on horses to come and be like, what's happening here? And I'm like, this looks so bad. I am a black guy in the middle of London tackling this white man to the ground on New Year's. This looks really bad. And I'm at this moment thinking, I'm about to get deported. I'm never finishing this degree. I'm never going to be able to be in the UK again, and it's going to be Joe's fault. It's going to be Joe's fault. So they're like, what's going on? And I'm like, I promise I know him. I just need to get him home. And because it's London police, they look at me and go, whatever. And then look at Joe and go, do you know this man? Joe has reached a different plane of existence and is just screaming, I just want to be free, I just want to be free. Which in my head, I'm like, God, this looks really bad. Because I look like I am actually trying to abduct Joe. And they, I think, look at each other, think about it for a second, and then laugh. And I've never been more relieved in my life. They're on my side. So I managed to pin Joe to the ground with one half of my body, whip out my phone, this time facing the road so I can at least get it if he throws it and it's not behind the gate with my glasses, call an Uber, throw him in the back of the car by convincing him we're gonna be free. And the entire time I'm thinking, he cannot know that Joe is drunk. Joe, I need you to be so quiet. And luckily, Joe had reached the beyond I want to be free point, to which I now know is the point where he just decides he's going to faint. We get to the corner of where Susan is, and that's when he decides to throw up all over my jeans. And I'm like, okay, maybe this Uber driver won't notice. But I forget that Joe's loud as hell no matter what he does, so he's in the back just like as loud as possible. To which his Uber driver's like, absolutely the fuck not, get out of my car. So we get out of the car, and I drag Joe's corpse back to the house, throw him in his bed, get a bucket, strip to nothing, get into your bed, and call it a night, and spend the entire next day in my underwear because I was waiting for him to clean my jeans. And that was the night that we began our I Want to Be Free era.